All right, folks, good morning. Appreciate your flexibility. My apologies with everything going on. I clearly have a soul, and I'm sad for the Guthrie family, and I want the Guthrie mom returned home. It's a little much. 40 minutes of a Fox News program. Harvey Weinstein, what is his name? Harvey, the TMZ dude is a scumbag. I can't stand that dude. Do you know how many children? Tens of thousands of children go missing every day. But the Guthrie thing, you know. Anyway, my apologies. I was supposed to be on at like 10:15. It's I hope she's returned safely, but how many more hours of bandwidth are we going to dedicate to this, man? Harvey Levine or whatever. He's a scumbag. Um, anyway, appreciate your flexibility. Folks, make sure you read the alerts. My phone was blowing up like, hey, I can't log in. What time? The damn subject of the alert says AR brief moved to 10:30. Then I sent out another one that said, I'll start it when I'm off my brief. So guys, please like read stuff, right? So, um, what's going on? It's not closing for 10 days, Ginny. That's what's going on, right? The United States government may use deadly force against the airborne aircraft in this area if it's an imminent security threat. What happened? Cartels, drug cartels, man. The air defense guys at Fort Bliss shot down a bunch of cartel drones. I told the producers in the background. I was blunt. I'm like, hey man, this is a little much. This Guthrie stuff. This is way more important. And then they slot me the last 3 minutes of the show. Folks, the Mexican drug cartels are using drones to uh, fly product across the border. They're also using drones to kill. I told you years ago, 4 years ago, right? I told you warfare's changed. The drone stuff in Ukraine changed war forever. You heard me just say it on Fox last year. The drone swarms that popped out of that back of 18 wheelers near Russian strategic air command bases and took out 25% of their bomber fleet. I don't want to freak you out. I just said this on the air, but I'm like, you could park an 18 wheeler on the approach path of Miami International Airport full of drones and launch them right up in front of you know, El Al flight, and it will crash and hundreds of people will die. Um, so clearly, I think this is bigger news than one woman missing, but what do I know? But this is huge, folks. As you heard me say on the air, Trump has told Scheinbaum, sit on these cartels or I'm going to do it for you. It's a great movie, Clear and Present Danger. The Ronald Reagan like president said, what? These cartels represent a clear and present danger to the sovereignty of the United States. We're worried about Ukraine's border or what's going on in Iran. How about we care about our southern border, right? So this is the story of today. So yeah, Eli, we looked at that years ago, man. We did. I did a whole report on drone manufacturers. Raytheon's in it. And I guarantee you Raytheon's going to do what? Buy them, right? Raytheon's kind of the Death Star of this stuff. So again, my apologies. Went way too long. I was extremely frustrated sitting there listening to Harvey Lee. I got breaking news. And it's funny to be on the commercial break to hear, I talked to Bill and Dana, and then Harvey was in there and he's gross. He's gross. Him and his staff celebrating when Charlie Kirk got shot in the neck. He's in the Epstein files. So this is why he's milking this Guthrie thing. He's all over the Epstein files. He's gross. Okay, let's get centered. All right, let's get airborne. Jobs report this morning. We got a lot to talk about. Let's start with limousine liberal humor. Zuckerberg, welcome to the Sunshine State, Zuck the Cuck. Zuckerberg follows billionaire exodus to where? Florida. It's funny because Chamath wrote this tweet. So it's some obscure union. I forget the name of the California union that initially wanted to push this billionaire tax or whatever it is. And It's blown up in their face right before December 31st because they might make it retroactive to January 1st. Before December 31st, they all left. The Sergey Brin or whatever his name, all these billionaires ditched California last year. And Zuck's doing it now. He did it. If they backdate it to January 1st, he's going to owe whatever. But folks, listen to this. California's total taxable wealth from billionaires has plummeted to under a trillion. A couple weeks ago, it was two. They've lost $1 trillion in revenue, tax revenue. This was avoidable, but now it's forever because Gavin Newsom didn't do anything. This stupidly written bill from a fringe union and a handful of social academics, socialists. It was this whatever union and a couple people from Berkeley, like, here's how we can really bring in a lot of tax revenue for illegal immigrant healthcare and free college for them, while you have to pay for your healthcare as an American and pay for your college. And Chamath warned the governor, like, dude, everybody's going to leave. And Newsom, I think, gave an interview like, that's not the way. We shouldn't do something like that. And nothing ever happened. They all left. So it meandered. It meandered its way into the public conversation without any action from him. And boom. These were all the people that were paying 13% in the state income tax with no complaints, right? These limousine liberals love Napa Valley and this, and we love California. Gone. And now, for the rest of time, who's going to pay for it? Who's going to pay for this now? They lost, instead of gaining trillions in revenue in this billionaire tax, they've lost a trillion, the middle class. He's forsaken the middle class instead of managing the budget, blah, blah, blah. He was silent. And now California's budget will implode and he wants to run for president. This guy's an idiot. If we expect you to be president of this country and you're doing this, absolutely comical. I laugh at the reason I'm really laughing at this, folks, is because I can't stand these people. They're limousine liberals. They donated to the Democrats. They love the Democrats. The Democrats, whoever just wrote, turned on them. Duh. How many times have I told you over the years, do not ever bow to the woke mob. You will never bow deep enough. They always want more flesh. Of course they were going to turn on you eventually, you idiots. You guys are, trust me, man, I know billionaires. I help a couple become billionaires. You're welcome. Many of them are dumber than you'd think. But it's so comical to see these people bail. So, and I can't stand Zuckerberg even more. And Trump's I can't stand Trump a lot of the time either. Now Zuckerberg's up at Mar-a-Lago kissing the ring. The dude threw you off social media, Mr. President, and now you're letting him kiss your ass. I guess you get some sort of that makes you feel good or something, Mr. Trump, but it's awful. So anyway, Deanna, I know it's not comical if you live there. It's awful. And I'm worried that they try and blue our Florida, but they won't because there's not enough of them, right? I mean, DeSantis went from barely beating that crack addict. Do you remember? Oh my God, that dude almost won the governorship. After the election, they found him on the bathroom floor at the Fontainebleau in Miami with I don't care what you do behind closed doors, but meth and dudes, and he was that close to being the governor of Florida. And then DeSantis won by like 20 points the next election. Anyway, what's this have to do with anything? It has to do with everything because Gavin Newsom's going to try and run for president, and this just shows how stupid he is. And these billionaires are traitors. They have no moral value. Just like Jamie Dimon at JP Morgan getting sued for $100 billion by Trump. Hey, man, sorry, Trump, we were just following what the Biden administration was telling us to do. But now we love you now. They have zero moral compass. They are disgusting human beings. And it is just follow the money, right? Okay. All right. We already talked about El Paso. I kind of hit this on the live hit. I really don't care about Ukraine or Iran right now. I care that cartels are killing Americans on the southern border and flying their aircraft across. What are we doing? The whole purpose of an army is to what? From the medieval times, this is my castle, this is my walls, and we will defend this. And now it's moved into we're all over the place. How about you defend our country? An Army Air Defense Battery in El Paso had to protect our borders. So I don't know what's going to happen here. I'm still, you know, relying on intel I got from somebody else. Like, dude, he's waiting. He's waiting for everything's in place, but he's waiting for the final. They're yanking your chain, Mr. President. They did it last time to you, and you bombed them on day 91. They did it to Joe Biden. Does anybody remember Barack Hussein Obama flying billions of, I was about to say dollars. It wasn't dollars because that was illegal. He flew billions in euros on unmarked planes in the middle of the night to the mullahs. How did that work out for us? They used those billions, Wiz, to kill Marines and sailors and soldiers in Iraq. Nice job, Barack. So, don't know what's going on in Iran. I do know if Trump doesn't get what he wants, he will attack the mullahs. We'll see what happens and see if the market cares. Jobs report. Boom. U.S. added 130,000 jobs in January, starting the year off on strong footing. Unemployment fell. Whoa. Um, I mean, does anybody kind of see a trend here? Boom. I mean, it could be an outlier, but I mean, I don't know. There was a lot of good in here, right? So this improves on a revised 48,000 in December. While surging, it was double, more than double what was expected, and the unemployment rate went down. So, and you can dig into the stuff here. Let me give you the two things that I loved the most. You ready? This is one of them. The number of federal government employees is at its lowest level since I was a child. I want that to sink in. This is awesome. Look at that, folks. Federal government at its lowest level in 50 years. Now, if you're a Democrat or a liberal, this freaks you the hell out and you're furious. Has anybody noticed at all any change? Nope. And don't give me the tax returns will be longer. They always suck. The IRS could have a billion Americans working there or one, and it would suck. Thank God someday the IRS will be AI and it will be instantaneous and they'll all be fired. We're getting to that in a second. So this is awesome. This is the real story of today's job report. Trump was handed an economy that was a shit sandwich, losing private sector jobs and adding government payrolls. He flipped it. 1 year later, it's all private sector growth. How many times under Mumbles McShitty Pants, folks, did I say, look at the jobs number, folks, and dig into it? It was all government jobs. The private sector was getting destroyed under Joe Biden. Love him or hate him, the dude's cooking, right? So the jobs report, and you can see this in the market today. Why did the market react the way it did? Somebody already typed it. Why did the market react the way it did? Great headline is not a great headline, is it? And we filled the gap. You should have bought some calls down here. That was a no-brainer. I was sitting here trying to manage my Fox stuff and didn't do it. We filled the gap. We go through this. You should buy some 69.75 calls that expire this afternoon or tomorrow. Boom, there's your day trade. Why? Why did it do this, folks? Let's use our thinking brain. Whiz, it was blowout jobs numbers and the unemployment rate went down. Somebody already typed it. There goes your rate cut. Remember, folks, you have to think bizarrely a lot of the times. You can't use your normal old 2008 and before investing or trading brain. Somebody tell me when Kevin Warsh is going through his Fed chief nomination hearings, why you need a rate cut. Mr. Warsh, are you aware of the blowout jobs numbers? Yeah, yes, Senator Buckley. Are you aware of the implosion in the unemployment rate? I am, Senator Buckley. That has a nice ring to it. So you shouldn't be cutting interest rates, should you? That's why the market freaked out. So, folks, if you used your brain while I was putting on my suit, you should have bought calls down here. This is obviously was the oh my God, there goes the rate cut, and then you buy the dip. That was easy. That would have been free money to you, right? So, um, because the rate cut debate, folks, I briefed you weeks ago that Trump wants to run it hot. He wants to beat the sophomore slump, doesn't he? Every president since John F. Kennedy, 1960, the sophomore year sucks. There isn't one exception. It's good first, implosion second, medium third, maybe rally fourth. That's the left side of the chart. If anybody can do that, looking at the right side of the chart, it's Donald J. Trump, right? Okay. We talked about this already. Stocks sharp rebound is only making investors more nervous. I agree with that, man. This is these whipsaws, a lot of whiplash here. We talked about these were long, and then we started getting some tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter oscillations. We do have a MACD crossing, don't we? Okay. For what? Either up or down. We're halfway through February. We did have a February shit show, but we also didn't have that much of a Santa Claus rally, did we? This is usually sign of a topping action in a market. Are we topping or are we getting ready to set up for a rip? Okay. What else do we have to brief? Well, here's the other side of Trump wanting to run everything hot and Kevin Warsh wanting interest rates at zero, even though the jobs market's great and unemployment's coming in. I start popping it now. Start popping your popcorn now for his testimony. It's going to be lit. Weak hiring layoff plans paint a gloomy labor market picture. So you can have whiplash, right? Don't forget what was this jobs report? Delayed. The government shutdown and all the clown car stuff going on. It was delayed. By the way, we're probably going to have another government shutdown because 85% of Americans want voter ID, and Chuck Schumer and the other human excrement Democrats don't want voter ID because women and minorities are dumb and they don't know how to get an ID to vote. They can get an ID to fly on an airplane, buy alcohol, do everything else in this country, but they're too stupid. That's what Democrats are telling the American people. They said it. What's her name? Cackles Kamala said it. Well, women and minorities, we have a tough time figuring out the ID thing. I don't think I've ever heard anything more racist in my life. That's who they are. So that was a delayed jobs report, folks. This is up to date stuff, right? American optimism slumps to record low. Democrats, Hispanic adults report greatest drops since 2024. Now, some politics involved in this, but folks, this was a huge survey. The percentage of U.S. adults who anticipate high quality lives in 5 years declined to 59%, the lowest level since this survey this century. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is sad, right? That wasn't, we were kind of cooking under Trump, weren't we? Trump the first. Mumbles McShitty pants, everything started imploding. It's right there. Now, he's got a year in office and he's still got time to cook, but this is bad. This was a bad, sir. I can give you this to kind of read on your own, but headlines like this, folks, it's like inflation. Inflation's mental too. if everybody's talking about inflation, even if it's like the rate of it's going down or something like that, inflation is going up in your mind. But when you see this, uh, oh man, hey, we need to slide the ops call. Sorry about that. I went so late, my ops calls running. Let me give you this. You can read it on your own. This was just a cup of coffee read. Like, balanced against the late jobs numbers is a lot of gloom, ladies and gentlemen, right? I've already covered these headlines. I'll close them. 9 in 10 Americans believe we're in a full blown cost of living crisis. This survey was 5,000 Americans. Some older Americans on retiring to keep up with the cost of living. Those ain't bullish headlines. Okay. So, blowout jobs numbers in the rear view mirror, the left side of the chart. It remains to be seen if this is gonna, if we're gonna cook this year. I don't know, but if you didn't listen to me last week or yesterday or Monday, sit up straight and buckle up. It's over with. I posted an article, a thread you needed to read as you were waiting for this brief. Did you read it? It's over with. Look at this tweet I just saw. Breaking. AI can now do market research like McKinsey for free. Here's your 12 insane Claude Opus 4.6 prompts that replace $5,000 consultant. Ladies and gentlemen, I remember when I got furloughed from American, I was doing my consulting and stuff like that. You know, these McKinsey partners or to make partner in Accenture, it's over with. Do you hear me? I'm not messing around. Did everybody read this? Brent, it was, did everybody read it? I sent it out. You had to. Look, China inches ahead of US in what? Humanoid robot startups. Ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't read this article, you're a failure. I told you to read this. Read it several times. I sent it to my son at CU and I said, you need to go get your hair cut because you need a contingency plan. You're going back in the Navy. He didn't like Navy ROTC. It's over with, ladies and gentlemen. We're making some product changes here at Top Gun Options that I'm going to, in the next couple weeks, you're going to hear about. It's awesome. It's good, but the earth has shifted. It's over, folks. This guy's like, the AI is coding itself and it's also making taste decisions, like human-like decisions. So for all of you who a year ago, especially the attorneys, right? They talk about that. Like, oh, chat 1.0 a year ago, like got a couple cases wrong or invented a case. So I'm never using that. That's an idiot. What did I tell you? I'm like, that'll change in a day. It is a hockey stick. They quoted senior managing partner at a firm like we're getting rid of all of our associates. These people spent years in law school, shitload of student loan debt. You're fired. McKinsey consultants, Accenture, you're fired. My father-in-law owns an accounting firm. He's like, oh my God, Matthew. He's like, it's kind of great for me. It's a horror. He's letting go half of his employees. He doesn't need them. If you're not listening to me, you're a fool. The world, I told you, the world changed last week. I told you yesterday, Morgan Stanley is full of shit. Morgan Stanley's buy note. We believe the software, implosion last $300 billion wiped out of software's SaaS stocks last week. What did Morgan Stanley tell you yesterday? Buy the dip. They're wrong. Pound them into the dirt. This is exactly. Oh, that's what everybody said. They're like everybody who, I was talking to Catherine and Susie and I were talking before yoga. This is great for Top Gun Options, folks. People, you need to learn to trade. It's over with as far as every type of skill. If you didn't read this article, you're failing. But again, the non-believers are going to get destroyed, right? We're going to get to the point, man. It's going to be Judge Dredd. Like, court cases will be just, it ain't no, I'm in litigation for 2 years of my divorce. It'll be 30 seconds. Upload all your financial statements. The AI that's a neutral AI will look, here's the answer. Check this. It's over, folks. A lot of people haven't seen or felt this seismic shift. This is why you need to read this article. And folks, it's not even a hockey stick at this point, right? And I get it. 2, 3 years ago, I remember this chat stuff, and I'm like, I was the guy on my horse looking at the Model T drive by, shaking his fist. That guy died. This is a horror. Talking to some buddies in DOD, and they can't tell me, and they shouldn't tell me, or I wouldn't trust them ever again. In some of these programs, they're like, all they can say is like, dude, whatever. A couple of them, I don't know if they're might be on this brief today. They're like, if you can dream it, I've told you this before. If you can dream something, there's a dude in an over air conditioned windowless room trying to build it, or they've already built it. So a seismic shift. These things are becoming self-aware, they're becoming smart, they're becoming, and this is a techie that makes a lot of money. I am no longer needed for the actual technical work. These things I already tried, folks. It did it. I'm going to announce stuff, but later. Build your own app. Go get a cup of coffee you just talk to it. Like, hey man, I want this done. What? I'm not exaggerating. So read what this I can't say this enough. So here's where I'm getting at. And this is I didn't even read this. I was just about to say, here's how fast this is actually moving, and it's right there. So, well, here's in 2022, AI was a joke. 23, it could pass the bar exam. By 24, it could write working software and explain graduate level science. In 25, some of the best engineers in the world said they had handed over their coding to AI. On February 5th, last week, I told you new AI models arrived that made everything before them feel like this is the Wright brothers. This was Kitty Hawk. This is we're going to Mars, and this year we're going to Proxima Centauri. AI is building the next AI. This is just I can't say enough. Legal work. AI can already read contracts, summarize case law, draft briefs, and do the legal research at a level that rivals junior associates. The managing partner I mentioned isn't using AI because it's fun. He's using it because it's outperforming his associates. Financial models, folks, this is insane. I already made a bunch of reports I shared with you guys, from psychedelics to Amazon. Oh my God. Writing and content. I'm having a come to Jesus in an hour with, I'm going to see how this, I'm loyal to a fault and keep people around, but we got an interesting call today at Top Gun Options. I don't need them. I mean, I don't want to, 90-day revenue acceleration plan. I mean, this thing went through everything. And here's your revenue plan. It went out and looked at everybody, and I've never seen any. No, I had seen something like this. It cost me, what was that firm? 25 grand years ago, to get this type of product. Let's jump on the call and debrief your 25 page whatever. So, folks, not only did it do it, that plan, like the Accenture, McKinsey people would create this thing, a whole team of 20 people would do it. The AI can do it. Here's access to my YouTube channel. Here's access to Top Gun Options. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know how many people will be put out of work? It sucked when I was, wealth creation investing I built with Mike McDougall down in Fort Lauderdale years ago. I tell the marketing folks, like, I need an email, close the business today, full throttle launch next week. Here, and the high notes I want to hit. I'd go through like five iterations of the damn email with like a pen, like, hey man, it's the S&P 500. You're fired. I don't need anybody. Software engineering. A year ago, AI could barely write a few lines of code without errors. Now it writes hundreds of thousands of lines of work correctly. Large parts of the job are already automated. So, and medical analysis, folks. How many times have you seen? I've seen a ton because I'm following all this stuff on X now. Of like, lady uploaded all her scans into AI and it found cancer or this, or it's like, oh my god, the medical profession suggesting diagnosis, reviewing literature. AI is approaching or exceeding human performance in several areas. Customer service. The AI sucks, but guess what's happening? Genuinely, I used one recently. Genuinely AI agents, not the frustrating chatbots of years ago. Hi, I'm here to agent. Give me an agent. Nope. Conversation. It was like, oh, okay, blah, blah. I'm like, are you an AI? I am. I'm like, wow. So, ladies and gentlemen, um, well, David, thank you for my that beautiful segue. Hey, before I forget, because we're gonna dig into this right now, there was some AR psychedelic good stuff. The good news. I gave you this report, didn't I? Did everybody get the report that my Wiz Capital came up with on this sector, folks? It is obscene. The chief strategy officer, breakthrough type therapy for psychedelics, as Johnson and Johnson's Spravato keeps growing. So I am going to tell you that I don't need to tell you. You already know this. God is great. Thank God I'm in the psychedelic space and the healing and helping people because a horror is coming. We're going to have to return to God, or you should be there already. People are going to get wiped out and destroyed. I'm not fear mongering. It's fact. To David's point, who's going to I pay 20 bucks for Opus for Claude. I canceled my chat because I like Claude better. How do they monetize tens of millions of Americans being out of work? That article I just shared with you, dude's like 50% of Americans will be out of work. You're anything you do that you think can't be replaced by AI will be replaced by AI. I showed you yesterday or Monday the damn robots that are doing backflips. They'll be robo-cops. They will show up without emotion. License and registration. Hey man, fuck you. Get out of the car. Fuck you. Boop, boop. I mean, body cam filmed. Isn't it funny that the same people who screamed for cops to have body cams are now like demanding they like not use them anymore because it showed how crazy and stupid and nuts people are and what cops face? Anyway, here's what I'm getting at. If you're in Demorex, you're welcome. While AbbVie executives avoided getting into specifics, but folks, they acquired for $1.2 billion a DMT related drug being developed for MDD, major depressive disorder. We are using noribogaine at Demorex to cure AUD, alcohol use disorder, right? Spravato, ladies and gentlemen, it's you can't print more money than this. It's obscene. Sales of Spravato hit 503 million in a year? No. In the fourth quarter, a 69% bump. Yeah, oh my, that's not even a hockey stick. That like bends around. 1 point. What did I tell you 2 years ago about Spravato? I'm like, I looked it up too. I forecasted it would be $1 billion a year business line. I got it wrong. It's a $1.7 billion a year product line, Wiz. I think I said at least $1 billion. So the good thing about everybody losing their jobs is that they're going to need healing and psychedelics because AI is going to take your job and then want to kill you eventually. Neo in the Matrix, folks, those were psychedelics Do you want to take this pill and stay where you are? Or do you want to take this one and see truth? So that's the good news that our psychedelic investments are going to print money because horror is coming. I'm changing my call sign. I'm Morpheus, right? NFL careers scarred their brains. Could mushrooms provide relief? If you're an investor in Experience Onward, you're welcome. Great New York Times article about Daniel and me. I'm not in it. I helped about NFL players. You guys know Robert Gallery, my brother. He used ibogaine, but this article looked at what? Psilocybin. There's Daniel with his No Fallen Heroes Foundation hat on. There we go. Do you have your cool No Fallen Heroes Foundation hat? If you don't, you're a nerd. Um, anyway, I just shared this with you. You can read it on your own. Folks, I don't need to add anything to the commit criteria on bullish and psychedelics. All the horror I just spoke of makes this stupid if you're not investing in psychedelics. Bad things are already here. And I've used this before, like the war in Europe. Day one, I told you the war in Ukraine. And every part of the brief, I ended with what? This is going to get worse. Sadly, I was right. AI, this is going to get worse. I keep hearing, Susie and I went to the Boca Resort last night to meet a friend of ours' new boyfriend and talking to some folks. There's a big business conference there, folks. AI, everybody, it's the cocktail party topic. 200, 500,000 a year job, people are terrified. Now, as Gordon Gecko, I love all of that. As Wiz, I feel gross. I'm not glad the psychedelic sector is most likely going to. Major depressive disorder, if you think it's bad now with 50 million people, or alcohol use disorder, you think it's bad now, what do you think is going to happen when everybody's out of work? How are they going to pay for the drugs, Wiz? Precisely. Uncle Sam. So I don't want to drop anchor too long on the psychedelics, but everything in your psychedelic profile is should go to the moon. Did everybody get that report though? Right? Everybody should have the. I posted it. You should have read it. I mean, this is just awesome. Um, Posted it. This is awesome. Was it that one? No, it was a different one. There you go. So I am torn right now because I have another thing to talk about. We're going to go a little long because we're outside of our normal time anyway. So there's the research brief I posted. It's huge in depth. You should have it. I gave it to you. Psychedelic research brief. Now, where do I want to go? I'm a 50 Delta, folks. I'm a coin flip right now. I think by this time next year, um, what's my gut tell me? Horror. That's what my gut's telling me. I don't know if I'm a fighter pilot, I'm an options trader. I always go to the worst case scenario so I can contingency plan. And if it doesn't happen, I'm pleasantly surprised. I don't think it's that this time. I think I'm genuine. I see it. I feel it and I see it. And the people, the Morgan Stanley idiots yesterday, like, we think the software as a service, it's over with. LegalZoom will be out of business in 12 months. Accenture, McKinsey, all these, it's done. Here's what I'm rambling towards. That's either going to, it's a binary trade at this point. It's either going to happen, right? There's no stopping it. I told you 3 years ago, put the genie, even Elon Musk years ago, he's like, we need a conference on around the world, like a meeting of the five families to stop. Who said to keep going? I told you this years ago. Bill Gates, the man caught syphilis from a Russian hooker and emailed Epstein asking questions about how to sneak penicillin into his wife's food. I told you years ago when Elon Musk says we have to stop this AI right now, and a Bill Gates goes, "It's awesome." Who do you believe in that case? I told you who to believe. Bill Gates is a disgusting human being. I knew that from a long time ago, but what a gross pig. Unbelievable. So, um, well, Tony, let's talk through it. So I think horror is coming. Tens of millions of Americans, white collar, will be out of work next couple years. Those are your neighbors. Those are people in big houses, in their McDonald's houses. Um, we see it, folks. Did I not brief you on UPS, FedEx, Walmart laying off? Oh, you're like, oh, 15,000 layoffs from Walmart. People checking you out. No, these were white collar executives. Whoa, like in headquarters. Yeah. Let alone, like I briefed you on Monday, the 500,000 Amazon employees that will not have a job in a couple years. That leaked. Amazon said, sorry that got out, but we'll try and figure they some bullshit soft statement like, well, we're trying to, we'll move people around. They're gone. You go to an Amazon fulfillment warehouse, you walk in, first of all, you have to turn on the lights. There's no lights. Why? Robots don't need to see, man. These things are zipping all over the place without a human in sight. Where's the human? In the break room. He's got to go oil the Flutzer valve every once in a while. Why am I talking about all of this? Because look at this. This was great news. Did you see Secretary Besant testify the other day about the Trump accounts? Look at the S&P 500, folks. We are at decision point. I'm got one eye on the screen over here. What did I tell you? 69.51, right? I don't know why this chart isn't updating. Up here, we're bouncing around 69.51 on this chart. Why does this chart suck? So on this chart over here, folks, no, because I suck. It's right there. Thank you, Wiz. You were off by $2. Your line was off. This is decision point. Look, we went from a 25 up to a 25. We failed in between, ripped back up to a 25. Once you see a break, either buy puts because we're going down to 69.25, or if we hit some airspeed here, buy the 69.75 call. Derek, this is what I'm getting at. Here we go. Why the silence? Do I believe in the bullish on America trade anymore? No, is my gut response. Again, reread this article. I know the world has shifted. I know everything has shifted, and I still got some agita in my chest, like, no, because a couple of you who shall remain nameless did the standard. That's not going to happen, Wiz. It's bullshit. They said that up, the horse and buggy and the this and the internet. And how many times have I countered that red team with my own red team? This is the technology to end all technology. This isn't the .com, folks. Like Netscape and pets.com went away. Everything.com that went up went down. It's over with. Folks, you need a website? I already mocked up a new speaking website. It took about a minute. Website developer. I was looking a year ago for a new speaking site. The guy's like, 15 grand. I'm like, gone. So stop. You can keep red teaming me, and you're wrong. I am right. This is the technology that ends technology. I'll give you the left side of the chart in the past that, hey, money always flows and capital finds a way. But folks, this isn't I lost my job as the research analyst over here. I'll go get one somewhere else. They fired your cohort too. So my initial answer is no, I'm not. I think we have a horrific implosion coming. At the end of the day, folks, and I actually asked the chat, there'll be 5 quadrillionaires And that's it at the top of these AI type of things. And it will replace just about everybody. Folks, it's replacing the military. Bot, kill, bot. I'm going to sit in the air conditioning back here. Did you not see the video of the thing? Have you not seen the videos in Ukraine, man? These vehicles with 50 cals on them. There's a Russian trench. AI thing comes up, do, 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 slaughters a bunch of sad Russian 18-year-olds. Let me say this. I want to be wrong. I want a year, 2 years from now in a live trade brief, one of you to go, you idiot, you were wrong. I'd love to be wrong about this. I have two. I have a kid in college, and next one going to Ole Miss. I want them. I want to be wrong, right? So, exactly, Mitch. Use Gamma.app to build websites and find. So, David, we're going to be launching a new. I will stop talking about what we're doing. You'll find out. It's over with. Luckily, just about everybody in this room is bullish on the one name that is Amazon will be the biggest survivor, if not one of them. I will remind you, I'm not going to take everything from Monday I did and repeat it. Go watch the replay. They have cash until everybody's out of work and can't buy a toothbrush from Amazon to be delivered in an hour. Everything else is burning. Not Microsoft, it brings in money through Azure and stuff like that, but your open AIs and your other vaporware AI crap doesn't have an Amazon Prime, airliners, Amazon Pharma. They don't have NVIDIA Pharma, folks. There's no NVIDIA airliners full of cargo flying right now. Okay. So Amazon is the way to go. I don't care that it's getting beaten down right now. I'm talking about the future. But here's why let me throttle back because of what you're on your screen. Secretary Besson and these Trump accounts. We should, in the next six to, or whenever it is, see a massive pop in the S&P 500. The Trump accounts. For children born between January 1st, 2025 and December 31st, 2028, they're going to get $1,000 in a government account. You can add to that. Parents can add $5,000 annually. It's a mandatory S&P 500. All deposits must be invested in stock mutual funds or ETFs that mirror the S&P 500 or another index. Wow. Funds are locked until age 18. What's the impact? This creates significant structural demand for S&P 500 index funds, according to this Council of Economic Advisors. Folks, do the math. I'm a political science major. I don't do math. That's why I pay 20 bucks for Claude. 4 million children per year born, which is sad. Those are rookie numbers. We got to bump those numbers up. 16 million accounts, blah, 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 18 years, do the math. Guaranteed, I love that word in investing, consistent buying pressure on the S&P 500 ETFs and index funds. Potentially 8 to 10 billion annually in inflows. That's conservative. Multi-decade structural bid under US equities benefits large cap stocks where the S&P 500 is weighted. So, ladies and gentlemen, even though whoever asked, the bullish on America trade, I said no. Let me fix that. I'm not bullish on America. I should have deleted the word trade. I am bullish on the S&P 500. How many of you, and I know we have some new people in here, how many of you know the wizism? The stock market is not the economy. As a matter of fact, ladies and gentlemen, if we have a COVID-like event, wipeout of jobs because of AI, what's Kevin Warsh going to do? What's Donald Trump going to do to save his legacy? He got hit with COVID the first time. Now he's getting hit with AI. It's a disease, folks. It's a virus. It's destroying jobs. Bye. So let me fix that. I'm not bullish on America. Delete the trade. I'm bullish on America trade. How about that? Now, I haven't used this analogy in a while. This could be the Fred Sanford moment. What do I mean by that? This could be the I'm coming, Elizabeth. This could be the one that actually brings everything to its knees. Ain't nobody buying anything, Wiz. I can't afford groceries. I made 500 grand a year at Accenture. Now I'm fired and I can't get a job anywhere else. And by the way, Starbucks, the barista is now, it isn't a purple haired nipple ring man, lady, they. They're fired. So I am torn, ladies and gentlemen. I am completely torn about the future. I'm not torn. I know it's going to be a horror, but I mean the future of the market. We, you, me, us, will be ready to pound it into the dirt. We're going to know. We're not going to wake up one day, God willing, and the market just implodes to zero because of it's. This is a Steve Austin, $6 million man, tumbleweeding down the runway in a crash. We will see it. But folks, this is September 10th. Let's put the dots together, man. That guy, all these white collar layoffs, everything. The Chinese robot that is better than American robots that do backflips, that do better than workers. Folks, I've seen videos of newer robots. I saw them like 6 months ago, like trying to fold a shirt. Now the thing like did this. I'm like, oh my God, that's how quick it was. The other video I saw, 6 months ago, same type of thing. Trying to load the dishwasher. It took like 20 minutes to like kind of load the dishwasher. This thing was like moving now. I'm like, whoa, there go housekeepers. And this is even not to get too political, but what the hell are we going to do with 10 million illegal immigrants in this country that Nancy Pelosi wanted to pick our crops? How more racist can you get? Democrats, 1860. Who's going to pick our crops? Democrats 2026. Who's going to pick our crops? AI robots. They don't need to take a leak, they don't need to unionize, and they can be legal. So I am telling you, ladies and gentlemen, the world changed. I knew this was all coming. I've told you this, but last week when 300 billion got wiped out of the stock market, it's over. Does everybody understand this? So, other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the parade? Right? I do like a bullish on a, oh, let's see some Raytheon movement here and some life finally. I sold a short call this morning, by the way. Raytheon, I sold the 200 out to Friday, 91 cents, if you're interested. First of all, let me, better than us. I haven't seen that, Rick. Better than us. I haven't seen that. The last thing Susie and I watched was Midnight Mass, and it was fantastic. The last 5 minutes of Midnight Mass, I cried like a baby. It's Donald Trump Jr. with a new text. Delete and report spam. Um, what do I want to do? I like, I mean, hell, man, we can fly, holy shit, 2,000 days into the future. If you're of the opinion, and let me talk through this because one more time, I'm going to tell you, I want to be wrong. God forbid this happens. I'm begging God not for this to happen. Maybe this is exactly what is supposed to happen. The end of humanity comes from things we created. Wasn't a nuke. It was something that was supposed to help us work better. I already told you the other day, yesterday, walking around the neighborhood, it did my whole podcast thing for me. I'm like, oh my God. I used to sit here for hours and get some ideas together. So I want to be wrong. If I'm wrong and we figure it out, right? There's, money never sleeps, pal. We will figure it out. Even saying that, I catch myself because this would be the thing that it's no, Wiz, you've already said this is the tech to end all. What's the tech past this? It's folding clothes, doing dishes, working at an Amazon fulfillment center, and going into a burning building to rescue a baby. It's a robo firefighter. I'm really at a loss. Man, I meditated this morning and got up and grabbed my coffee, my microdoses, which I really need nowadays, and read that article. I'm like, oh my God, what am I getting at? If you think that that's not going to happen, that we will figure it out, you stay in your bullish on them. And remember, folks, we can dogfight, can't we? We can dogfight, meaning you can have dueling trades on. You can fly into the future and go, hey, Wiz, the next 2 years will be in a job apocalypse. I briefed you on that in-depth article earlier in the week, like the job apocalypse, it's called. Do we find a way through that? Because as that article said, it's the crit, and we failed. There you go. Once it broke, you should have bought the puts, like I told you. If it this failure and that failure, bearish. You could have bought puts. Boom. If the double top here we hit with airspeed and there was green bars, buy the call. You should have bought the 69.75 if it did that. What I say to do, buy the 69.25 put if we failed up here. You'd already be up about 30% right now. So, um, I yeah, the Raytheon, it's the 200 I said. I sold Friday's 200 at 91 cents. We can have dueling trades on. We already have a bullish on America trade years into the future. I feel like a if Trump fails this year, there's a sophomore slump Wiz. He didn't buck the trend. Did you not see the Joe Biden slump? 25% bear market under Joe Biden, folks. He had his there it is right there on your screen. 2022, sophomore year, 25% down. Here's what I'm building towards. I'm actually does if you have your bullish on America trade, you can dogfight. Markets tend to move up and to the right, Wiz. I've seen your chart from when you started trading in 1991. We're moving up and to the right. Okay. It ain't going to be a straight line. It's never a straight line. It's never a straight line. So I'm actually, and I ran this through my Wiz Capital hedge fund, uh, like that. They're like, that's a pretty solid thesis. If we have a job apocalypse, um, it's we're going to get hammered. The market, the market should get hammered. But again, I'm red team. I'm giving you all I can. I'm Scotty in the engine room. I'm pretty sure Kevin Warsh is going to be confirmed. He's going to want to do what? Cut rates to zero, but he's one dude. He can't unilaterally. He's the Fed chief. I'm unilaterally today gonna. You can't. You got 12 other governors, man. 12 apostles. You got 12 governors who vote. Because I was about to get started on my bearish on America trade. But the red team to that is Uncle Sam's going to have to jump in. Does Trump let a sophomore year slump happen? He already said, tongue in cheek, it wasn't tongue in cheek, that he'd sue Kevin Warsh. If the next Fed chief doesn't do what I tell him to do, I'm going to sue him. Did you see Elizabeth Warren get into a dogfight with Secretary Bessent the other day? Secretary Bessent, the president said he would sue the next Fed chief, and Bessent started yelling back at her. He never really answered the question. So, Gene, what to do with the Amazon burner trade and bull put spread? What's Amazon doing today? Folks, I'm going to tell you again, I said at the beginning of the brief, buy Amazon with both hands? What part of Amazon will be one of it's the Death Star, folks. The cap everything Amazon is doing, folks, they see. I feel like I'm talking to Jeff Bezos right here, and he's probably looking at me going, "Duh. Why do you think 2 years ago is I we nobody's these tech companies aren't buying back their shares? Why? They're spending the cash on building their own Death Stars." Long answer, short question, Gene. Well, you should have yesterday, and I said to potentially do this leg into a iron condor for the week, right? I'm gonna roll these calls down, obviously. So let's talk Amazon real quick. I have the whatever calls grouping. Oh, they're for today. Um, well, let's see if there's any premium going close to at the money right now. Let's take a look at the chart of Amazon real quick. Yikes. I'm going to sell the 20. There might not even be premium in the 205s for today. No, there isn't. So downtrend in Amazon. I am going to tell you, uh, whoops, to be to keep an eye on the bull put spread, obviously. But we could leg into an iron condor. Let's talk through that real quick tactically. So I have 96% profit in these short calls. I'm going to adjust and I'm going to roll down. And I'm going to buy to close the 212 and a half. I'm going to sell to open the 205s. I mean, hell, I could do the 202 and a half. So I think we're imploding here. Or you could do them out the Friday, right? Um, grouping. I'll put them with these. I actually have another synthetic stock. So here's the calls I'm going to do out the Friday, folks. Let's go look at the at the money straddle for Amazon out the Friday, which is Friday the 13th. Super. Um, at the money straddle at 202 and a half is it's about $5. Let's leg into an iron condor. We got to offset our risk on that. It's $5, like I told you. Conservative 207 and a half short calls out the Friday. I'm going to sell a 207 and a half against my other synthetic stock position. I have two synthetic stock positions on Amazon. Why? Because I believe in it. I believe in it. It's the Death Star. My own money, I fully believe the AI apocalypse, Amazon will be one of the ones left standing. But folks, let me remind you, that doesn't mean Amazon's not going to get hammered either. I'm going to remind you, Amazon Pharma, all that stuff. I made a $500,000 a year at McKinsey. I just got fired. I can't even afford my Amazon Pharma prescriptions. That's a threat, man. That's a threat. All right, let's leg into an iron condor. Well, it would be this strike. The iron condor out to Friday. I have a bull put spread on Amazon, a little underwater right now. This would be the bear call spread I would shoot. So let's do that. This is the conservative one. If you think we got more downside to go, folks, do the 205, 207 and a half. This is the aggressive bear call spread. This ain't, and let's be clear. This is ugly. So this is bearish at this point. We might even have to eject out of the bull put spread, to be honest with you. Why? Here's the gap down on earnings. What did I tell you? I tell you this all the time. If we fill the gap and go up, buy it, bullish. If we fill the gap and hover, it's neutral. Wait. If we don't fill the gap or we fill the gap and it goes down, it's extremely bearish. So if you don't want to hang and smoke a lucky strike the Friday, exit the bull put spread. I would exit the bull put spread. It's up to you. Okay. So this is one more time. This would be an aggressive bear call spread to Friday on Amazon. The 205, 207 and a half. Okay. The more conservative would be the 207 and a half, 210 at 41 cents. Write down 82 cents as maybe eject if we get a rebound for some reason the rest of the week. Is there anything? I mean, we got the jobs, the delayed jobs today, tomorrow, existing home sales, gas. Oh, we get inflation. The year over year came in light last time, remember? So, if we get inflation going down, we might get a market pop. So I'm warning you on the Amazon bear call spread. Conservative versus aggressive. If this trend, a market might like that. Okay. Like weak inflation numbers year over year. If we get a spike, here's the opposite of that. If whiz inflation came in hot year over year, market's going to implode. And that bull put spread in Amazon will get destroyed. Welcome to investing. All right. So, max potential loss is 208. Max potential profit is 42. The risk to reward is under 1 to 0.25, which is okay because I have a bull put spread on to offset that risk, right? Let's look at the aggressive one. The hell we didn't want infinite loss. That's wrong. Well, it's taken into account my other call. The aggressive one is 76 cents, folks. But I'm gonna look at the one more time. Yeah. Even the aggressive one is okay. I'll shoot out the conservative and I will mention the aggressive. How about I do that? I'll meet you in the middle. This is a tick moment, folks. This is a trader in command moment. SPX Dredge, you're speaking my language. I don't feel good right now with where I feel always feel good. I mean, as far as the market, I do not. We are still in February. We got the rest of the month to potentially have a shit show. Okay. But let me get this out first to the Amazon people. And I used to not do this, but I'm a nice guy. Amazon, um, 211 metric. I named that the wrong thing. Let me rename this. You used to only get the Amazon trades from that brief, but I'm a good guy. I will still send this out alert to them. Show more options. So I'm torn between, yeah, maybe we do the short term trade, uh, because that's the closer alligator to the boat. I was going to do like a longer term, Amazon 211 because I'm telling you, man, I haven't had a conviction like this, a market conviction in a long time. I feel it. Amazon trade alerts, legging into Amazon weekly iron condor with bear call spread at everyone. Also rolled down short calls that expire today to 205 and added new short calls against my other sin stock at what was the strike? 207 and I did the 207 and a half. And I'll put the expiration. My other uh, Feb 13 to a 7.5. All right, I'll add the Condor with bear call Folks, if you might not want to eject out of the existing bull put spread if you're in it, maybe you roll it down. That's up to you. Let me get this alert out first. Why is my phone going crazy? All right, legging in the weekly and short call adjustments. All right, there you go. Amazon trailer. Holy crap, we're going long. We got to, man. The world changed. This is also a topping mechanism right here. Like this violent up and here and hover. There's a MACD crossing right there. Something will happen as a result of a MACD crossing. Look every time. And usually, it's a little bit of a lagging indicator, but look, we every one of these this most recent recovery, we didn't get higher than that one, and we certainly didn't get higher than that one, right? So this is a lower high, bearish in my opinion. So let's do that. I'm going to rip through this for sake of time. I got 90 million things to do, but this is very important to me. I want this for me. All interest is self-interest. I want to cover. I mean, we got another potential government shutdown, folks. Not potential. I mean, Fetterman already says it. Um, Chuck Schumer and Temu Obama, Hakeem Jeffries are going to shut the government down because they want fraud in voting. All right, I want to go out to the end of the month. We need protection to Feb 27. Okay, 16 days. Let me grab my trade plans to start writing down. We're in between two strikes. We're at 247 and a half. There is no 240. We're literally in between two strikes. I'll use the 69 45 straddle out to Feb 27. 100. Folks, this is 16 days into the future. That's $320 wide straddle. My God. 71113 to the top, 6786. Let's cook. Bear call spread up at 7115. I'm going to start there, see if there's any premium. 71. I'm like, there's a shitload of premium. Wrong. My bad. 7115. I was like, why is my math off? Perfect. Right at my buck. That's my love my bear call spread. Okay. Terry, if we get the Iran attacks, Raytheon's going to rip. Absolutely. There's the bear call spread. I'm selling the 7115, 7120 bear call spread at $1.05. Write that down and double it. Write down 210, maybe eject. And it's flopping around, but you'd maybe eject out of that trade at 210. Where do you take profits? 789. This is a high probability bear call spread. This is conservative. I'm not doing this one. I'm going to the market likes round numbers. I'm doing this one. I'm selling the 7100, the 7105 for a dollar. This is more my speed. Risking 375 to make 125. Using at the money volatility in today's options, 77%. All right. Bear call spread up here. You can just do this, right? Deanna, you might have to put a dollar sign or some weird symbol in there. You got to reach out to them if it might be a symbol issue. A couple things, folks. You could do nothing. Wiz, I have no idea what's happening for the next 2 weeks. I'm going to sit here and wait till the dust settles. Love it. You should also be in 50% cash, as I tell you to always be. Um, why? Because you could have bought Amazon for a steal. You could have bought 2 weeks ago JP Morgan for a steal. I told you to do that. So you could do nothing. You could just do the bear call spread and put a roof all the way up on the market, 7,100. That's all. It's not even, we've never been up there before, obviously. It'd be all the way up here. Can that happen? Yeah. Will it? I'm not feeling it. You could just do that. Where's the down? 67.86 is it's around here. So, you know what? Right around a drill bit. So the at the money straddle is looking like that. So let's go look at a bear put spread, right? The bear call spread I just showed you is bringing in $1.20, maybe. Let's go look at let's just start with the put. Let's buy 67.86. So let's do a 67. If there's a 67.85, there isn't. There'll just be there is. So the price of this trade exploded. It went from being, bringing in a credit to a big debit. Why? Why is divorce expensive? It's worth it. That put has a lot of premium in it because there are people going, we are going to implode through 67.85. So if you just did this trade, folks, it's a debit. It's a burner trade, right? Does everybody understand that? If I'm wrong and the market rips, you lose 4,200 bucks. You will never make that. What does that mean? The S&P 500 went to zero. You better hope you don't make 600 grand or we're all dead. You won't know it. But you can go along here and just kind of say what's realistic. Wow, if we really do implode down to there, how much could I make? That's called a burner trade. I'm cheap. I ain't spending 3,600 bucks. I'm going to sell a lower strike put. I'm going to sell, let's do 25 wide. What's that? A 67.60? 67. I usually go $50 wide, but let's just start playing with some pricing here. Um 60, well, that doesn't make sense. Now let's do 67. Um let's go 50. Oh yeah, duh. Thank you. Good mutual support. That makes sense. I'm like, wait a minute. So this is still a debit spread, folks, right? 275. Your max potential loss is 775 bucks, but you could make 2,200 bucks. Bearish double vertical. This is a bearish double vertical trade. There's the bear call spread. There's the bear put spread. Okay. Now, Uncle Wiz, let me grab screenshots of just using one contract. All right. SPX 211. And then I'll step through this trade and talk you through it. A ratio spread. You can do one contract. You can do nothing. Don't do anything. Wiz, we could rip in the next, by the end of the month. No government shutdown. No Iran, no nothing. Great. Don't do it. Or do the best thing about being an options trader, folks, at TOPGUN Options is what? Wiz, I think you're full of shit. Distinct possibility. I'm doing a bullish double vertical. You're wrong. Do the exact opposite of what I'm doing. That's how we make a market, right? Somebody's on the other side of this trade going, dude, we're going to rip. You're an idiot. Okay. But why don't we ratio this? How about we do, I don't know, 5 of the bear call spread? Hey, that turned it into a credit, Wiz. I'm getting paid to have a trudge on. I'm risking 2,300 bucks to make 2,700. Let's do 3 down here of the bear put spread. Spending 500 bucks. Okay. Max potential loss, 3, a little more than that last trade, but I'm making 7 grand. Ooh. I like this one even more. I'm not doing a full, I wouldn't do a full 5 grand on this. In a volatile market, what does Uncle Wiz do? I change my SOP from 5% of my model portfolio, $5,000 per trade. to 2.5%. I dial back my risk. Why? Because I don't like flipping coins and I don't like losing either. So I like this one. What would it, and before you even ask, what would I do for a $100,000 model portfolio? I would do this one. Risk in three to make seven. Any questions on this? How does Uncle Wiz manage a bearish double vertical? We did, when was that last one? This one? Or one of these? I closed it the next day. Why? Because we got a violent move down. Look at that drill bit, folks. Today, we kissed the 20. If you get a violent move in the direction of your double vertical, close it. Definition of pornography. I can't define it. I know it when I see it. I know a violent move when I see it. You can always reload it, right? We got that. It was like a 1-2% move in the S&P 500 a couple weeks ago. We printed money on the tredge. I'm like, out. What happened? Market turned around. I'm like, whew, okay, good. Let me alert this. We'll go to Hunters. New Feb 27 SPX Tredge. If you're sitting there going, I have no idea what this guy's talking about, a Tredge, you have failed. That means you haven't watched your options weapon school training. So for all the new folks sitting here going, no idea what this guy's talking about. You did it wrong. There you go. You need to go to options weapon school right here and scroll down to double verticals. Double verticals and burner trades. I just covered it in 15 minutes. This one, you get an hour and 10 minutes. Go. Look, holy crap. The September 24 5,000s. We're up here we want to get to 7,000 on the S&P, but we're not. Look at that, man. It's the same exact process. That could be from 20 years ago. A double verticals, a double vertical when options came out to when we're all killed by AI. But any questions outside of what you can learn in your training? Okay. That was way too long, man. But I'm telling you, folks, I feel it in my bones. This is ripping around the internet. Okay. And I'm telling you, all the lawyers or the doctors or the whoever, like, you will not have the last laugh. I guarantee you. I promise you, folks, from the depth of my soul, I want to be wrong. I want to fail. If I am right, tens of millions of Americans will be out of work. What are they going to do? Grab a pitchfork and a torch and storm Washington? This will happen in our lifetimes, folks. What do we come up with? Universal basic income? Does everybody get a check? Well, guess what? If everybody gets a check, mine needs to be a shitload of money. No, UBI of $2,000 a month. That ain't making my car payment, bro. What are we gonna do? Write down the date and time. I might post this to the options weapon school. This one's going to live in infamy, this live trade brief. We will remember this. I told you last week the world changed. And a week later, the dust is settling and it is ripping around everybody. Contagion, it's wrong, it's panic. We haven't seen panic yet, folks. Trust me. I mean, this isn't. I remind you that when your neighbor loses their job, it's a recession. When you lose your job, it's a depression. So nobody really gives a shit until what? It happens to them. So guess what? Um, this is bad. So okay. I think there's a meet on Saturday, right? With Deanna, I'm not sure what you mean. A meet on Saturday. What's a meet on Saturday mean? Any questions, folks? Oh, by the way, I'm getting a ton of stuff on um, for all my comments on the fear porn out of all these weed people, anti-weed people. And I keep hitting them with that. I thought there was a meeting call on Valentine's Day. God, no, that wasn't me. I don't work on Saturdays, Deanna. No, there is no Top Gun options brief on Valentine's Day. I don't know where you heard that. That's nope. My weekends are mine, man. So no, 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 no. Um, there are changes coming to Top Gun options. Awesome changes, but the world has shifted. Have you shifted? Are you still in 2022 thinking this chat GPT thing is clunky and old? Go take your most challenging business problem and put it in here, right? And ask it and see what you get. I have four insane bit. I actually have to, it's too much. Did your will yesterday. David, of course it can do your taxes. There's another thing I forgot to mention. I already told you about my father-in-law getting rid of half of his staff. He's had a big accounting firm in Boca Raton since they moved here. You know, when he was 30, he's 80. He's like, I don't need them. Hell, I don't need me. So the big accounting firms, H&R Block, all these tax commercials, it's over with. Give me all your bag, upload everything in the chat and hit enter, and it will file. Hopefully, the IRS eventually is AI, and within a minute, you get back your refund or it deducts it from your bank account, sadly. All right. Any questions, concerns? Oh, by the ways, get into the ready room, folks. Start talking. See, there you go, Celia. Um, oh yeah, I used it to answer all my tax questions. It'll do your audit, man. You know, if you upload all your stuff into there and the IRS comes poking around, send your chat IRS agent back at them. Yeah, chat GPT, folks, it's insane. I uploaded a recent court case on an ayahuasca church. It ripped it to shreds. It ripped my website. You need to change this sentence. You need it. I'm like, holy crap. That would have been thousands and thousands in billable hours. So I haven't talked to my attorney's done. Thank God with all the legal bills. I would have had to have said, "Hey, the federal court in Alabama just came out with this ruling against an ayahuasca church. What's it mean for me, man?" That would have been 10 grand for him to read it, go through the website. Oh, dude, you know, make these changes. And he's a human. He would have missed some of this stuff. I uploaded the Church of Umi ruling the other day, and it red teamed everything I'm doing at Sacred Warrior Fellowship, and it tightened it up. I was like, thank God for 20 bucks a month. And I usually at the end of those things go, how much on average at a decent law firm would that have cost me? And it told me 10 grand. He's like, that would have been a 10 grand minimum. I want to be wrong, folks, but that just, um, you know, it's over. I can't say it enough. So get in here. You try it. Don't listen to me. I'm giving you my intelligence brief. Challenge it, threaten it, red team it. Show me where I'm wrong. I don't mind being wrong if good things happen as a result of me being wrong. I'm not. I guarantee you. So this one, it was for the ages. Apologize for the Fox News hit going long. I God, please take care of Miss Guthrie. Please return her home safe to her family. She she is me. I am her. Um, but there's a lot of horror going on in this world, and it would be nice if the news media kind of gave this stuff a little bit of a break. Let the cops find the lady or not. But caring more about that than a lot of other stuff going on is sitting wrong with me, especially with Harvey Levin or whatever his name is. All right, guys, we're done. Before I get back to you next Monday morning at 10 a.m. for Solo Amazon, go do this. Go do your own Mitch is smart. Every business owner I know is in here doing all of this stuff. Like, dude, you wouldn't believe what this thing is doing for me. There's the article. If you haven't read it, read it. Read it again. Read it 5 times. Get on X. Are you following me on X, by the way? There is a ton of these thread accounts that I'm learning insane prompts from. It's called the Socratic method. Don't go on Claude and go, build me a 90-day business plan, enter. It's going to suck. You are a 30-year Accenture, McKinsey, Wall Street executive with marketing and this. You give it everything, and then you say, "Oh, I it needs to know how to think." And once you give it some direction, it'll work. But the stupid people are the ones that said, "Oh, I asked it for this," and don't use it as Google. That's stupid. You're using this insane machine as a search browser. It's dumb. Don't do that. If you ask it to do complex tasks like this guy did, like recode your AI, it did it better than any human ever could. You're going to get good stuff out of it. Or you're going to get a horror out of it. Double up on your psychedelic positions, folks. People are going to be needing healing. I already sent out an email to our team in the church like, this is a horror. We are if it results in more people returning to God, I guess it's a good thing. But is this the end of humanity? It is, by the way. Rick, thanks for the recommendation. I'm going to go watch Better Than Us. You need to, if you haven't watched Ex Machina yet, go watch it, or go watch Johnny Depp's uh, Transcendence. It's yeah, Charles. That's exactly right. That's what I'm saying. I follow all these accounts now that give great prompts. Like, here's how you're supposed to ask and talk to it. I'm like, oh, copy paste with the prompt. Holy crap, folks. I am so excited to jump into my next brief. Well, I'm excited to jump into my next brief. I don't think because I sent all this stuff to my marketing teams and everybody, and this is going to be a come to Jesus uh, moment for at Top Gun Options. I'm transparent, folks. Hey, you guys know me, ain't no filter. I'm going to debrief you next week about everything that I'm doing. You're going to see changes at Top Gun Options. The world changed. If you didn't, you're going to be left behind. Okay, so all right, guys, I'll get this replay posted. It's going to be a little bit to post a replay because I got more work to do, and Fox backed me all the way up. Have a great rest of your day. Everything's going to be okay. I promise you. Take your microdoses. Keep meditating. Find some yoga. Be centered. I had a lot of ego in this brief, and I feel it in my back right now. But that's the old Wiz didn't die, man. He's still running around in there, and I gotta, the Gordon Gecko in me throttle back from some of that stuff. But if you're scared about this, get back to God, man. Maybe that's the best thing that's going to happen to all of this is we're going to a return to faith. I'm already seeing crazy shit like, well, this actually is God and it's going to be sentient and it's, I'm like, oh boy. Before I leave, I'm sorry I'm going long. I forgot to brief this. One of the chat OpenAI executives just got fired, the lady. You ready for this? For sexual whatever. She was the lady at OpenAI who has been fighting. Listen to me. This is bad. You can't do, I'll use the word erotica on some of the platforms. You can on a bunch of others, but you on the big ones, you can't do erotica. She was saying it's bad enough now that kids or people are committing suicide because they're having relationships. This thing really knows me and it feels. What do you think's going to happen when they launch the erotica 18 above? You're allowed to use it for when this thing starts showing you images. I love you is come be with me. And here's a picture of I'm not even going to go down this rabbit hole, but ladies and gentlemen, how many times in the past year have I briefed you on a sad news story? Like the parents went in his room, the kid's dead. They looked at the chat thing and it's like, come join me. The fact that the porn convention, the adult, what's it called? AVN, adult. How do you know that, Wiz? The Adult Video Awards is right with the CES. They're not stupid. The Consumer Electronics Show is always with the adult thing. Duh. Pornography on chat, people will kill themselves. Throw pornography and chat into a robot, like in the movie Ex Machina, maybe it kills you. Let's end on a high note. I love you. I love God. I pray that good things happen from this. Um, I have faith that everything will ultimately be okay. I'm with you, Mark. I think it might be the devil. That's a separate conversation. We're going to be talking at Sacred Warrior Fellowship starting next week when I actually get to doing our weekly Sacred Circle meetings. I think this was the event really that had to push me. I'm like, man, we got to start doing those briefs, the Sacred Circle briefs, because we got to talk. All right, guys, enough. God bless you. Fights on. Namaste, and I'll talk to you later. I'll see you in the chat.